Hey, how's it going guys? JC here, and today I'm going to go over everything you need to do in order to climb out of low elo, and more importantly, stay out of low elo once you have mastered these steps. Every point I mention is very important in their own right, so do make sure that you have a checklist to tick off each and everything I have to say. A little background about myself: I started League around Season 2. I had prior MOBA experience through Dota 1, therefore I was able to skip Bronze and reach Silver immediately after my very first placement games. I spent the following season after in Plat, and every season since I have consistently maintained Diamond. I've also made a secondary account and reached Diamond with relative ease, so hopefully I have added some credibility to the information I'm about to pass on, but more importantly, I will be passing on everything I know so that you guys can benefit from what I have learned in all these years. Before I go any further, this guide requires time, effort, and dedication. Do not expect to magically get high elo simply by watching this. If you are genuinely looking to improve your gameplay, then this video is for you. As a low elo player, think of yourself as an extremely obese Gragas with the goal being to lose weight. Just like climbing out of low elo, it starts off extremely difficult and overwhelming. That is what this video is here for. I'll be breaking everything down into sections so that you guys can focus on one thing at a time. It's like stepping onto treadmills and expecting to run for half an hour straight for the very first time with Gragas's body, but over time it will be less and less of an issue. First thing to go over is basics. If you're in Silver or Bronze, chances are you'll need to get your basics sorted. This means parting with those beloved Spell Vamp runes from your Master Yi page, or those Magic Pen runes from your ADC or Bruiser top lane rune page. People overlook these very important things at the lower ranks, but they are game changing and very important. Because it is different for every champion, I recommend going into champion.gg or op.gg for the correct runes, masteries, skill order, and build for your specific champion, as these websites tend to update very frequently. Be sure to follow every little detail suggested on their website to a T, and do not deviate even the slightest. The only exception is if you see a high elo streamer with a different build and they are climbing consistently in high elo with it. Only then do I give you permission to deviate and change your build to match theirs. So a common question I get would be, is X, Y, and Z champion good for Bronze, Silver, and Gold? I get this question a lot, and here's the rule. If it works in Challenger, it works in every elo, it doesn't matter. Now you may also be asking, what about playing tanks and support in low elo? To that I say they work fine too. If you can play those roles at a very high level, which I will go over, then you will definitely see results. But if you want to be more efficient and consistent with your low elo rank climb, then I suggest any damage dealers that scale decently into the late game when climbing the lower ranks. Champions like Tryndamere and Jax are great, but then you have plenty of options with the current champion roster. Practice CSing. This is one of the things that you'll hear everywhere. The basic spiel is 15 CS roughly equates to 1 kill, aim for 10 CS per minute, and 200 CS at 20 minutes is the goal to reach, so on and so forth. I'm not expecting you to nail this overnight, okay? But trust me, go into games and specifically work at it. This skill will only get easier over time. Eventually, it will become second nature. Remember, we are the Gragas hitting up the treadmills for the first time. It's going to be hard. Bite the bullet and
just do it!
You'll need to
make your dreams come true!
Here, I'm going to let you guys in on a little secret. This is what every single smurf, whether it's a Challenger, Master, or Diamond smurf, they'll do the exact same thing to stomp low elo games. It is what most people don't realize. The fact of the matter is, in low elo, nobody knows how to farm. They don't know how to take objectives or even play their own champion. This is also the reason why low elo games commonly go for 40 to 50 minutes. It's because both teams don't know what they're doing. In most cases, good CS and knowing some of the basics I mentioned earlier is enough to give you the edge to climb over time. With good CS, you'll always be getting the items you need to start collecting free kills that the enemy will uncontrollably throw at you. Getting good CS requires you to practice your specific champion with that sole purpose in mind. So pick that champion and get practicing. The more you do it, the easier it gets. Don't give shutdowns. This happens so much in low elo, it's actually an epidemic. Do you remember that Bronze Fizz that goes 8-0 early on? Only to see him go 10-8 by the end of the game with about 100 CS at 30 minutes. He flames the team and wonders why he is super weak having so many kills. Let's put this situation into perspective here. What the Fizz just did was like going to the gym fully disciplined for a month straight, then spending the following 2 months eating KFC and barely exercising at all. Sure, he did great at the start. Would he get 8 kills every game? Probably not. So what exactly went wrong wrong with the fizz scenario that I'm talking about? Well, there is a metric ass ton of things that went wrong here. It all comes down to decision making. If you dive and kill that 0-5 Yasuo who is worth as much gold as a minion, and then dying to his team shortly after, you essentially gave away a juicy 450 gold shutdown. Now imagine repeating that a few times. Yeah, it's absolutely horrendous. That's the same as giving the enemy team an extra first blood tower each time you do that. Shutdowns are very punishing, and if you're worth a bounty, then making the decision that led up to you giving up that shutdown is your own prerogative. Remember, it is possible to give multiple shutdowns when you have a big bounty on your head. To put this into perspective, if you give a shutdown and then you decide to come back and die again, even without getting another kill, you will be giving away a second set of shutdown gold to the enemy team. Mute all. Doesn't matter what elo you're in. If you really want to win and have a solid game plan ready, then typing /mute all at the very start of every game is extremely beneficial. This will also take the toxicity out of your own gameplay for those that happen to be toxic players watching this video. I've played League for many years and I've played games in every single elo. I can safely say that not once has there been a game-winning communication made by typing in chat. It is either banter, teammates telling each other how great or how awful they played, and other useless information. All you need are smart pings to climb efficiently. So be sure to mute your team of Gragases telling you to hop off that treadmill when you've almost finished your workout for the day. Just keep moving forward. While on the topic of pings, be wary of your teammates' shot calls. Do not get baited in by poor decision making from your team. They are low elo for a reason. They make the wrong decisions all the time. If you feel uneasy about a play and know it's a bad idea, make your own decision. Hit them up with a few danger and back pings so that your jungle Soraka doesn't invade the enemy Elise while your own mid lane is dead. Bronze players are like a room full of Gragases snatching beer and KFC from each other at the gym. You, on the other hand, are the only Gragas in the room going all out on the treadmill. Doesn't matter what others do because it only takes one good player to win the game. How is that possible, you may ask? Well, take a look at the enemy team. They aren't any different from your own team, but you alone will tip the scales. At the end of the day, your performance is what dictates the victory screen you see at the end. Here's a hypothetical situation. Say you ace the enemy team and everyone is extremely low health. What do? Recall? No! Ping your team to attack the nearest tower and start taking objectives. Remember what I said about bronze games lasting 40 to 50 minutes? This is because they like to recall or chase kills. Guess what they do after getting the kill? They recall! Inhibs and towers don't die on their own. The game just simply won't end unless you start going for towers, Rift Herald and Baron, but it only takes one person, which is you, the shot caller, to guide your team of KFC munching Gragases to hop onto the treadmill for just 1 second. You can now quickly see that this itself already gives your team a massive advantage over the enemy who would not be doing this. Be sure to take towers and objectives if the enemy team gets aced or are too low to defend. Just remember to keep track of death timers and back away accordingly. Also, do not chase kills. Just remember that the further you chase an enemy past the tower, the higher chances of bumping into an enemy champion is. Even if you get the kill after chasing very deep, you would have pretty much guaranteed your own death. Learn through demonstration and practice. A successful solo queue player will typically play a select few champions and watch high elo streamers to consistently improve their own gameplay. You can learn many important things like champion specific lane matchups, power spikes, wave management, when to lane trade, runes, masteries, skill order, all by watching and copying what you see the streamers do and applying them into your own solo queue games. As long as you have the willingness to learn and improve, the resources are out there. So some of you may be thinking, you seem to be all talk, why don't you show us how it's done? Personally, I have hundreds of League videos, mainly covering every single aspect of Tryndamere on my channel, including every lane matchup, mid to late game rotations, teamfights, macro, all the tiniest tricks in the book. I also have a bunch of Smurf videos on my channel that cover every single elo of this game. If you want to climb out of low elo with Tryndamere, I suggest watching and emulating what I do. You'll be out of bronze and silver in no time. The only requirement comes from you. Are you determined to spend the hours to practice and learn the ins and outs of your chosen champion? Just remember the amount of effort you put into perfecting these steps will be proportionate to the results you achieve. Just like our Gragas weight loss analogy, once you have achieved your goal, it becomes a lot easier to reach that goal again, even if you start a new account. This is also the reason why I've been saying elo hell does not exist, because everyone can easily get out if they are willing to put in the time and effort and be guided in the right direction. So you have all the knowledge and basics out of the way. Now it's time to put everything you learn into practice and get that elo, right? Wrong. Play your chosen champion and expect to be utterly terrible at it. It takes a lot of time to practice mechanics, CSing, getting very comfortable with your champion in relation to different matchups, and it is strongly advised that while you're practicing to keep watching and learning from streams that play your chosen champion. After about say 20 to 200 games, depending on how mechanically intensive your champion is, once you are able to consistently maintain your benchmark CS that I have mentioned earlier for your given champion, and you genuinely feel that you're ready, you'll instantly have a much easier time working on other important things like map awareness. Mechanics and map awareness go hand in hand. If you're always worried about your champion's damage rotation and having to stare at your abilities all the time, then you're probably not ready to play ranked on that particular champion. On the other hand, if playing your champion is like second nature, then dividing your attention to the map, enemy jungler's position, and lane opponent becomes a lot easier. Once you are completely confident with that champion and you have met all my strict criteria that I just mentioned, then I can confidently say that you may bring this one champion into ranked and you'll breeze through bronze and silver no problems. But be sure to repeat the above steps in normals for any new champion that you decide to play. This strategy has no limits and has the potential to get you to challenger if you keep at it. I hope this guide has helped you out. Remember, all the resources and information you need are out there. Do not be afraid to dodge champ select as many times as you need to if you see any trolls. And lastly, if you wish to start your climb with Tryndamere, then check out my channel for any specific elo or matchups that you would like to learn about. My videos feature full gameplay and are fully edited that show step by step on what you need to do in every stage of the game in order to succeed. Learn, practice, and most importantly, improve. Every single player in the world has room for improvement. If you enjoyed this video and wish to see more, be sure to subscribe and hit the notification bell. And don't forget to rate this video with a like or a dislike. This is JC and I'll see you all in the next video. Cheers.